As of 2020, athletes from 40 schools have won the Heisman Trophy. Of those 40 schools, the top 3 have been awarded 7 apiece. And of those top 3 schools, only one has an athlete that's been awarded the Heisman Trophy twice. That school is the Ohio State University. That player is Archie Griffin. Of the numerous athletes to be awarded the Heisman Trophy, only a fraction were given the award before their senior season. When Archie Griffin won his first Heisman Trophy in 1974, he was a junior, which led to him being put in an interesting position leading into his senior season.
After winning the first Heisman, which really was a surprise to me. I mean, I didn't think that I would win it as a junior. Certainly wanted to win it, but I didn't think that I would win it. But Coach Hayes basically congratulated me, let me know that he was proud of me, but he also let me know that he was proud of the whole team, because Coach Hayes was a man who believed in team success, and the fact that I was able to win a Heisman Trophy really showed that we had an outstanding football team, because in the game of football, you can't do it alone. You got to have that whole team surrounding you to make things happen in order for you to win something like a Heisman Trophy. And I had that. I always said that I was very fortunate. I was in the right place at the right time with the right people to have the success that I had. And that was certainly the case during my time at Ohio State. And it also meant a lot to the university to have an athlete win the Heisman Trophy. We hadn't had one win it since 1955 when Hop Cassidy won it. So it was really a great honor, not only for me, but also for the school and our team. After winning one Heisman Trophy, and you got another year left, you want to win it again. And Coach Hayes used to always have this saying, and it stuck with me. He always said, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. You never stay the same. And for me, I felt that I needed to win the Heisman again. I mean, it's a little bit warped thinking, but I felt in order for me to get better, or at least stay the same, that I needed to win the Heisman. And that put a lot of pressure on me. I put that pressure on myself. I mean, because everywhere I go, people would ask me about the Heisman, ask me the question, do I think that I could win it again? They pat me on the back, don't worry about it, Archie, you're going to win it again. All those type of things. And that put a lot of pressure on me. But it was one of those situations where, I was reading through the Bible one evening, and I came across a verse in the book of Psalms, 37, chapter 4th verse, where it said, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. And when I read that verse, it was really as if somebody just lifted a big weight off my shoulder, because that verse told me that my job was to find joy in serving the Lord. And if I would do that, he'd do one of two things. He'd take that desire away from me of wanting to win the Heisman Trophy, or he would give it to me as a gift. And he did the latter. And I'm so very, very thankful. I was getting a lot of requests to do a lot of things. And I was trying to please everybody, talk here or visit here, this, that, and the other. And I remember that he called me into his office that summer. And he looked at me and he said, Archie, you can't do everything for everybody. If you keep doing what you're doing, it's going to make you soft. You need to learn how to say no. So that was great advice that he had for me. And I think that it really took a load off of me when he told me that, because it made me realize that, hey, concentrate on your school and concentrate on your team. We lost a lot of great players from that 74 team. I mean, I think of the offense alone. I mean, we had our backfield coming back, and that was a special backfield that I was a part of. But we lost just about all those guys up front. Those were great players. And I don't care how great a backfield you've got, if you don't have those guys up front paving the way for you, it's going to be very, very difficult. And so we had to replace that line, and we did. We had some great players that stepped in there for us. That was very, very important, because that was the year that going into the season, there were a lot of people. I think it was Sports Illustrated that had an article before the season that said we could possibly lose 3 of our first 4 games. And it wouldn't be an impossibility for that to happen because those first 3 or 4 games, the first game I think we played Michigan State, who had beaten us the year before in a very controversial game, and we had to go back to Michigan State again and play them. Penn State after that, and Penn State is always a tough football team, and we had a battle with them early in the season, but we ended up winning that game, and then we went out to UCLA and played them in the Coliseum and beat them, and then we came back and played North Carolina, who was an outstanding football team, and they ended up beating them in that first 4 games. And after winning those first 4 games, I think people started realizing that, hey, this could be a great team with the way that they performed early in the season. But it was really a rebuilding year for us. But our guys really stepped up to the plate, played great football. I played in a great backfield with Cornelius Green, Brian Bashnagel, Pete Johnson. That season as a whole was great because when you look at the people on that team, I mean, being a Heisman Trophy winner, you're targeted. I mean, all the yards you're going to get are going to be hard yards, and they were. I mean, that was the toughest year for me during my time at Ohio State that senior year because all of my yards were very difficult yards to get. And thank goodness I played with a great cast of athletes that helped us have the success that we had. But I would grade our season as an outstanding season. And I would say that, I gave it my best shot. I did the best that I could do. And I would say that about everybody on that team because we gave it our heart and soul. And we had a coach that pushed us to make sure that we were doing the very best we could possibly do. Unfortunately, and I kind of hate that it's this way, but the things that stick with you are the things that it didn't go the way that you wanted them to go. And for me, that would be the Rose Bowl, the 1976 Rose Bowl, where we had to end up playing UCLA again after having played them early in the season and beating them pretty convincingly early in the season. And to come back and have to play them in the Rose Bowl, I knew that it was going to be a challenge. I knew it was going to be a challenge because we had so much success against them that first time. And I knew that going out to California again, playing UCLA, and again, I don't care what anybody says, that when you go to the Rose Bowl and you got to play UCLA or USC in Southern California, it's a home game for them. I mean, it's an away game for us. And we've got to be away from Ohio for 2.5 weeks, and we're not sleeping in our beds like most folks are doing. So, it's more of a challenge. And not only that, just the fact that you're going out to California and Southern California, Hollywood, Disneyland, and all those things, you've got a lot of distractions. And the fact that we were there, that would have been our 4th year there. We got to know a lot of people and visited and had fun. And I don't know that we were totally concentrated on playing that game because of the success that we had against them earlier. But that's the game that sticks out of my mind because I really felt that we were a better team than they were. The simple fact that we did not take care of business the way that we should have. If you really want to know the truth, in all of my college football games that I played, that is certainly the most disappointing that I played in, and it's the most disappointing because we had a chance to outright win a national championship if we win that football game, and we didn't get it done. And that's very disappointing to me. And I have to feel that, if we'd have won that game, I think that might have been a great time for Coach Hayes to retire. I don't know for sure if that was even entering his mind, but that was a very disappointing game for me because of all those reasons. In 74, they told me I would be there with 3 other athletes. And when I got there, I found out that I was the only one there. And they announced it was the Heisman Trophy winner. So when they did it the second time, they called and told me that I can't let anybody know, but I won the Heisman Trophy the second time. I had agreed to do a talk at St. Clairsville High School, and I was in the car, and I was told by Steve Snap, again, who was our assistant sports information director, to stop along the way, give him a call, and he'll let me know if New York had called him to let him know anything. Well, I stopped at a gas station, and I called back to the athletic department and got Steve Snap on the phone, and Steve Snap told me that they had called, and I did win the Heisman Trophy. Now, this was on a Monday, because they made that announcement on a Tuesday, and that I had won the Heisman Trophy, and but I can't tell anybody. And I abided by what they said, other than the fact that I told my mother and my father, and I told my girlfriend at the time that I had won it. And so that next day, I went to New York, and they announced me as the Heisman Trophy winner. So he, again, congratulated me and made me know how special it was for Ohio State and Ohio State football that we were able to have a guy that won 2 Heisman Trophies in a row. I had all of our captains invited to go to the ceremony, because I felt it was important for them to be there, because those are the guys that really made it happen. It was a special time for me, special time for our team, special time for my family, because my family was with me when I was at the Heisman as well. And I keep a big picture of all of us there together in my office down at my lower level of my house. It was special. I would like to be remembered as a guy who did the best he could with the talent that he had, and I gave it everything that I had on the field, and I left it there. I would hope that folks will remember the fact that those teams that I played on were outstanding. One of the things that we as a team or teams are proud of during my 4 years, our senior class, we're very proud of the fact that the fans in Ohio Stadium that watched those games never saw us lose. And that's something that we are very, very proud of. And I hope people remember that, because that's not an easy thing to do. But what it shows is that those guys that were on those teams were very, very special people and worked their tails off for the Ohio State University Buckeyes. And they loved the school that they played for.
Whenever the question is asked, who is the greatest Buckeye of all time, I think the only legitimate answer is Archie Griffin. Not only because he won 2 Heisman Trophies, he won a number of other awards. He's still the leading rusher at Ohio State, with the next closest person, J.K. Dobbins, being over 1,000 yards behind him. But most importantly, in the limited interactions that I've had with Archie over the years, I've come to understand what Coach Hayes once said about him. Coach Hayes was asked, how good of a football player is Archie Griffin? And Woody responded, well, he's an even better person than he is a football player, and he's the greatest football player I've ever seen. My name's Christian. I was born a Buckeye, and until next time, OH. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch Born a Buckeye. If you enjoyed it, I'd like to ask if you might consider taking a gander over at our Patreon page and maybe helping us to continue to be able to produce these episodes and all the other documentaries that we do. I'd like to thank Mr. Archie Griffin for taking the time to speak with me. He asked that I mention the Archie Griffin Scholarship Fund, which you might look into. The Archie Griffin Scholarship Fund is a scholarship that Archie set up to help pay for the schooling at Ohio State of Olympic sport athletes. So consider taking a look at that and donating if you can. And I'd also like to thank Coach John Johnson for putting Mr. Griffin and I in touch. So if you like the video, please like, subscribe, comment, and we will see you next time. Thank you again.